Hi, everyone. I'm going to call the July 9th, 2021 meeting of the Hingham School Committee to order at 6 p.m. This meeting is being held remotely as an alternate means of public access pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, temporarily amending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You're hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the Town of Hingham in accordance with the open meeting law. If any participant wishes to record this meeting, please notify the chair at the start of the meeting in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, so that the chair may inform all other participants of said recording. I believe Harbor Media is recording, the Town of Hingham is recording. Is anyone else recording? If you're on the panel, you can just unmute yourself. If you're an attendee, if you could just use the raise hand function to let me know. Jenna Manto from the Hingham Journal. Here, Luna, sorry, letting you talk.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep. Hi, Jenna. So you're going to be recording tonight?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Okay, and I will just say that I am participating remotely. Carrie Nee, I'm the chair, along with my colleagues Michelle Eyre, Jen Benham, Carlos De Silva, Tim Dempsey, Ness Parenti, and Liza O'Reilly. So thank you everyone for meeting at 6 p.m. on a Friday in July for this. We wanted to do this to get moving on finding an interim superintendent for the district. And we want to go through this process as efficiently and effectively as possible. So we thought we could meet tonight to talk about next steps and appoint a hiring committee. So just for next steps to share with the committee and anyone from the public who's on, the job has been posted and the applications close on July 13th. After a hiring committee is appointed tonight, Susan D'Amato, who's the Human Resources Director, will share information about all of the applicants we've received so far and any applications we get going forward with the hiring committee so we can start doing background research immediately. And my thought is we can meet as a hiring committee as soon as possible after the 13th to go through all the resumes and decide who we want to interview and schedule the interviews. I want to let everyone know who's on here tonight know that the meetings will be public. This is going to be different than the permanent superintendent search where the screening took place in executive session since it's just a one-year position. And then after the interviews, the school committee will make the final decision and appoint an interim superintendent. Does anyone have any questions about that or comments? Okay.
Sorry,
Liza.
Maybe Liza's
whoever's first, go ahead. I took a while to.
I was just getting some email that people aren't able to log on.
They should be if they use.
Should be able to. We are live, correct?
Yep, we're live, and there are 14 people who were able to log on. So if they use the link that's on the agenda.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. Thank you.
No problem. Liza?
Yeah, it just, I want to get some clarity on the terminology you're using. Mm-hmm. Because I think we should call this a screening committee as opposed to a hiring committee, because that would give us, once we see the candidates, that would give us the opportunity to go into executive session to review, to consider the applicants and interview them, because number 8 of the open meeting law under executive session is that you can go into executive session to consider or interview applicants for employment or appointment by a preliminary screening committee if the chair declares that an open meeting will have a detrimental effect in obtaining qualified applicants, provided, however, that this clause shall not apply to any meeting, including meetings of a preliminary screening committee to consider and interview applicants who have passed a prior preliminary screening. So you can't go in to twice. Mm-hmm. But I would prefer that we leave this as a screening committee and then go the next step with, engaging the full school committee when it's appropriate. But I think we should reserve that right to go into executive session if we feel that it's appropriate once we see the applications. That's how I would prefer doing it that way.
Okay, Michelle, did you have?
I'm so sorry. I'm also getting texts from people saying that they can't get, well, that there were two Zoom numbers listed on the agenda. So
Okay.
I'm not sure what other agenda.
There's a dial, I have the agenda in front of me. There's a dial-in number and a meeting ID number. They need to use the meeting ID number.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Because I'm getting another one. Yes, we are all in the wrong link. So what do they need to do?
Are they on today's meeting as opposed to Wednesday's meeting?
So someone's saying on the website there are two IDs. This agenda.
This agenda, there aren't though. There's a dial-in number and a meeting ID. I'm hearing that it was easy to find through the town website.
So I'm getting, yeah, sorry, people are saying there are a lot of people in the wrong one. And on the website, there are two IDs for this agenda on the town website.
Okay, let me look.
Sorry.
Oh, there are two.
I'm only seeing one. There's a dial-in number and there's a meeting ID.
It's in the right-hand corner, there's one number, and in the main agenda, there's a different number.
Are you looking at the agenda center?
Yep.
What? I'm not seeing it at all. It's the one that begins 857-9695-1911.
Yeah, and then if you look in the upper right-hand corner where it says location.
Where it says location, it does say 847-5696. It is a different one.
So it's the 1911 is the correct one that we're on.
That's the one. That's the correct one. Yep.
Do you want me to go to the other one? I don't know if other people are, I don't know if people are figuring out. I just don't know if people now know. I mean, obviously they know they're in the wrong one.
Yeah. Michelle, do you want to jump over there and just let them know?
Yep. Okay. I will be back. Sure.
Okay. Oh, I see it now. Okay.
Oh, sorry. All right, so, sorry. All right, nobody was in there, but I'm going to just open it on my phone, and just in case anybody comes in there, I will mute myself and tell them to come over here.
Okay.
Okay, is that okay?
Yeah.
Can I do
Yeah.
that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Sorry, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience. We'll follow up, make sure that doesn't happen again. Okay, so for anyone who just joined us, we're talking about a hiring committee or screening committee for the interim superintendent. The job has been posted and the application closes on the 13th. And we would like to get this committee up and running so we can act quickly and meet soon after. So Liza had suggested a screening committee versus a hiring committee. I'm okay with that. Did anyone have any other thoughts on that? No. Okay. Sorry.
I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense as well. Makes it a little more clear, who's making the final hiring decision versus who's, reviewing applications and doing the due diligence and all that.
Yep. Yeah,
Awesome.
I think that, all right, I think that's good. And I think once we see the applicants, it'll be clear. I'd like to do this as publicly as possible. This is different than, you want to protect the identity of candidates with a full search. This is different because it's a 1-year thing. So I see.
Can I just add, so Carrie, I think the other part of having a subcommittee I'm all for having the full school committee participate as much, but I think, the screening committee can prepare questions, draft questions, do some due diligence to pull information together, can get some organizational things done to assist the full school committee in the decisions that need to be made.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a little bit more than just the public process,
Mm-hmm.
and tasks to be done that this screening committee can get going on in advance of having the public sessions with the candidates and that type of thing. And I just share this for just so everyone knows that it's a big process, whether it's an interim or not. And there's just tasks to get done that it wouldn't necessarily be in a full public webinar. Yeah. It could be a public meeting, but
it might be boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jen?
Do we just determine how many the screening committee would narrow it down to? Is that something we want to decide in advance, or is that something just the screening committee would decide?
Well, I think the whole school committee should be involved in deciding who we're going to interview.
Oh, I just meant like narrowing it down from like say 10 to 4, or.
Yeah, I think that's.
I'm just throwing out random numbers there. I'm not.
Yeah, I think that's something we can talk about once we have the screening committee. Personally, I like the idea of having a subcommittee to do the work that Liza's talking about, but always allowing the full participation of the school committee. And one of the reasons for that too, in addition to everything Liza said, is, it's the summer and we need to make sure we have a quorum. And if we made everything the full school committee, then we might not have 4 people. So if we have like 3 people that are kind of driving it, and obviously the whole committee would be involved if they wanted to be, but if they happened to be away, then we'd make sure that people could participate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and Jen, I can tell you the last time around when we had the screening committee, we did not identify a number of people we wanted to move forward. We went through all the applications and the interview process, and as a result of that, determined who was appropriate to bring forward to the full committee and to the public, because we don't know who these people are. I mean, we may think all of them are great. We may only think 2 are good. But there's no reason to arbitrarily decide in advance a number.
I was just curious. It sounds like it's something that will work. It works itself out.
Yeah. Yes.
Based on the pool of candidates. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's great. Okay, I see a couple of members of the public with hands up. Stephanie Gertz, you can unmute yourself now.
Thank you, Carrie. My question was answered. I'll lower my hand.
Okay, all right, thanks. Next is Laura. Hold on, Laura Achitella. I'm allowing you to talk. If you could just say your, let's see, oops, sorry. Here we go. You can unmute yourself, Laura. If you could just say your name and address.
Sure. Laura Achitella, 4 Boulder Glen Road. I just have a procedural question. Just given the timeliness of all this, the urgency of hiring someone, I was curious to know whether the school committee has the authority to appoint an interim superintendent, or have you considered that? I'm sure you're subject to various rules. I just don't know what they are. So given the short time frame, is that something that's been considered, whereby you'd appoint someone internally perhaps and then conduct a full search?
We have the authority to do that, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
But have you determined not to do that? Has that determination been made?
Yeah, yes, I think that was the decision that we decided, is we're going to move ahead with a search for an interim.
Okay, thank you for explaining.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so it sounds like, so is everyone good with the idea of a subcommittee with the full participation of the full school committee? Okay, so the next question is who's going to be on the subcommittee? Liza, would you be willing to help with that?
Yeah.
Given
Yes, I would be glad to help.
Thank you very much. And anyone else? Jen? Okay.
I'm glad to help if you need me.
Okay. Okay.
Same, I mean, same.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah. Would it make, Liza, I'm going to ask you, does it make sense to go through salary negotiations for that? Or do you think we should do you, me, and Jen?
I think, we had talked previously in executive session about you, me, and Jen doing it. I think, people were in kind of consensus with that. We have the principal searches going on as well. So we do have to kind of divide and conquer among the 7 of us.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should stick with what we had talked about. But that, I've always believed that, we do this as a subcommittee and then bring in the full school committee for subcommittee meetings, as we had done with the previous search, so that we get everyone involved when it's definitely appropriate.
Yeah.
But, I do know with executive session, it has to be a screening committee. So it can't be the full school committee going into executive session screening candidates.
Right.
Once the candidates come to the full school committee, that has to be public.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to manage through that process as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think, that makes sense. Carlos?
Liza, refresh my memory. I didn't think that we could have 3 members on the screening committee. Am I wrong?
I think we chose to have 2 at the screening committee for the full superintendent search because we had so many more members of, other members on that screening committee, and we didn't want to have the school committee have too much say at that time. And I would still advocate for that for when we're hiring the final full superintendent. But as far as, this is an interim, I think we can move a little more quickly and have just the school committee handle this. But when we get to the hiring of the permanent person, I think it makes sense to not have the school committee, have significant say on that screening committee. And that was why we had only had 2 of us at that time, so that we didn't dominate the conversation.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. And then the other thing we talked about, or I was thinking about, is, we have the school committee, and it will be our ultimate duty to hire somebody, appoint somebody, but it would be really helpful to have input from school staff, from the people that will work with the interim superintendent. So Michelle and I had reached out to some people who graciously volunteered their time over the summer. And I just want to let everyone know that John Ferris agreed to represent central office. Mary Eastwood agreed to represent the principals. Katie Roberts agreed to represent the department directors. And then for the teachers, June Gustafson reached out to them, and Heather Sullivan from the middle school will represent the secondary, and Wendy Rapson from Foster will represent the elementary level. I just wanted to also note that Gretchen Amonte from Hingham Middle School also volunteered to help, but she won't be available for some of the time we'll be doing this. So she's willing to help research candidates, but she won't be on the subcommittee. But we thank her for offering to help too. Okay, so before we, before we vote on this, I see a hand up from concerned HPS parent. I'm going to allow you to talk, and if you could unmute yourself and just say your name and address for the record, please. Hello, can you, let's see, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Okay. All right. So no longer. Okay. So I'll take a motion to appoint the interim superintendent screening committee, which would be Liza, Jen, and me, in addition to John Ferris, Mary Eastwood, Katie Roberts, Heather Sullivan, and Wendy Rapson.
I'll second.
You're gonna make, can you
So
make?
moved.
Okay, thank you. And Carlos,
Sorry.
okay. Okay, all in favor? Michelle,
Aye.
Jen,
Aye.
Ness,
Aye.
Carlos,
Aye.
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Liza,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. So thank you. So that is set. And I just wanted to let everyone know, and I thank everyone for volunteering their time over the summer to do this. So I just wanted to let everyone on the line know that our next meeting, originally it was going to be July 12th. We're postponing it to Wednesday, July 14th at 6 p.m. And we'll put this on the Facebook page and publicize it widely so people can see it. The purpose of that meeting will be to publicly accept Dr. Austin's resignation and talk about next steps. We will probably have a little more information at that time. I want to let everyone know that meeting will be in person and we won't have Zoom capability because staff will be on vacation. But you will be able to, if you can't attend, you'll still be able to watch it on Harbor Media in real time. And if you have any comments or questions in advance, you can email me at kni@hinghamschools.org in advance, and we will address them at the meeting, or you're welcome to come to Town Hall as well. So does anyone have anything for 48 hours, items not reasonably known within 48 hours? Okay, seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, oh, Liza did, thank you. Second.
Second.
Thanks. All right, all in favor? Michelle?
Aye.
And Jen?
Aye.
Sorry, aye.
Aye.
Ness?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Carlos?
Aye.
Liza?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. So we are adjourned at 6:22 p.m. All right, thank you,
Have a
everyone.
nice weekend.
Have a
All
good
right,
weekend.
thanks, everybody.